This page is the cover of Nintendo Power, featuring the high-speed racing action of Extreme Egg front and center, highlighted with Speed Zone ahead. Also prominently previewed is Madden 64, offering an exclusive look at the football simulation. The N64 section teases in-depth coverage of several titles, including Mischief Makers, F1 Pole Position 64, Aero Fighters Assault, and Mace: The Dark Age. There's also a shout-out to Game Boy with a double-play feature on Donkey Kong Land 2i and Tamagotchi. The top banner introduces Diddy Kong Racing as a hotshot. It's a look at some exciting titles across Nintendo platforms at the time. This page serves as the table of contents, kicking off with a powerful statement about Extreme Egg on the left. The text challenges readers to check their weak stomach at the door, highlighting the game's intense speed and G-force physics, and promising to transform players into road warriors. The visuals showcase dynamic shots of the futuristic motorcycle racer on a wild track, alongside two smaller in-game screenshots. On the right, the main contents list details what's inside Volume 101, October 1997. The strategy section covers games like Extreme Egg, Mischief Makers, Mace: The Dark Age, Tetrasphere, Aero Fighters Assault, Fly 1 Pole Position, Arkanoid/Space Invaders, Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Games, Tamagotchi, Donkey Kong Land 3, and Mortal Kombat titles. Featured alongside are screenshots and character art for Mischief Makers, Mace: The Dark Age, and Donkey Kong Land 3, with brief descriptions teasing their content. Mischief Makers' varied enemies, Mace's fighting depth, and Donkey Kong Land 3's new challenges. Special features highlights the Game of the Future contest winners. Previews include Madden 64 and Last Legion UDEX. Recurring sections cover player feedback, charts, information, advice, contests, gameplay impressions, and upcoming releases. This page presents the Player's Pulse section, where readers voice their opinions on the Nintendo 64's games, debating topics like style versus substance, difficulty, and the controversial Rumble Pack accessory. Players share varied thoughts on Star Fox 64, particularly the Rumble Pack's impact, while others discuss game endings, finding Super Mario 64 and Zelda 64 standouts, amidst perceived dullness in other 64 titles. Comments also touch on the difficulty of 64 games compared to classics, and unique observations like scoring mechanics or graphical oddities in Star Fox 64. The page is illustrated with creative reader artwork featuring various 64 characters and scenes, including a cyborg Player's Pulse mascot. This page presents the latest power charts, highlighting the top games for the Nintendo 64, Super NES, and Game Boy. GoldenEye 007 takes the top spot on the N64, with Star Fox 64 close behind. The Super NES chart is led by The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, followed by Super Mario RPG. The Game Boy chart features The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening at number 1. The letters section continues, with readers discussing games like Super Mario 64 and the N64's library, questioning the originality of titles like Doom 64 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy. There's also a story about a reader winning an NBA Hangtime arcade game. The magazine is asking readers for their opinions on GoldenEye 007. Directory information for game tips and subscriptions is also included. This page is dedicated to Extreme Egg for the Nintendo 64, an intense futuristic racing game. It describes the game as fast, faster, insane, emphasizing speed and survival on challenging tracks with weapons, armor, and warps. The Future Cycles section details the 8 different bikes available, outlining their unique attributes like acceleration, top speed, handling, shields, and weapons. Each bike has a brief description, like Ray's being fast, or Muga having strong shields. The single-player modes covered include practice, time trials for setting records, and shoot-'em-up mode, where the goal is to destroy drone opponents while maintaining speed. The Customize section highlights options for adjusting difficulty, displaying bike positions, customizing controls, and saving progress. This page delves into the multiplayer modes offered in Extreme Egg. No racing game is complete without challenging friends, and this game delivers with 4 distinct options for up to 4 players. Head-to-head is a standard race on any open course, utilizing turbos and weapons, with better graphics and 2-player. The flag game shifts the focus to strategy, where players collect flags on courses without weapon upgrades. The Cup Race is a structured competition series with weapons on designated tracks, supporting up to 16 racers via a ladder system, though one-on-one is recommended for a better view. Finally, the Battle Arena is pure combat, pitting players against each other in specialized arenas filled with weapons and armor pickups. The multi-level arenas are designed for ambushes, and the game recommends one-on-one battles due to potential frame rate issues with 4 players. Mastery of weapons and upgrades is key in the arenas. This page breaks down the Extreme Contest, the single-player progression mode in Extreme Egg. You start in the Atomic Circuit, moving through 4 races to earn points, and advance to the Critical Mass Circuit with 8 more intense races, and finally, the 12 races in Meltdown. It provides key tips for various courses across the circuits, such as navigating turns, using turbo boosts effectively, and mastering specific track sections like the corkscrew or the tight-fit building area. Screenshots accompany these tips to show the relevant parts of the track. The page also details the arms race, explaining the different weapons and items available. Mines are dropped behind you, rockets are direct fire weapons, and homing missiles track opponents. Defensive items include armor to repair shields and the fusion item, which provides a temporary super turbo and leaves a damaging trail. The unique warp item can send opponents backward. Knowing how and when to use these items is crucial for victory. This page continues the guide for Extreme JEG, detailing strategies for specific courses and showcasing the rewards for completing circuits. You'll find tips for navigating challenging tracks in the Meltdown circuit, including techniques for tight turns, shortcuts, and tricky jumps on courses 6, 8, 9, 11, and 12. The guide highlights the just rewards for your progress. The balanced roach bike is unlocked after conquering the intermediate circuit, and the ultimate neon bike, featuring maxed out attributes, is your reward for winning the final circuit. A section also lists the points required to continue advancing through the game's challenging circuits. This page dives into the quirky world of Mischief Makers, introducing Marina, the robo-made hero on a mission to rescue Professor Thiaco from the ruthless evil empire. This unique 2.5D side-scroller on the N64 blends anime style with intense action and fighting. A key mechanic highlighted is shaking. Marina can grab and shake almost anything, enemies, objects, or even friends, to uncover hidden items like gems, stars, or weapons, or solve puzzles. Shaking can even combine items to create new ones. The goal involves navigating stages, defeating bosses, collecting valuable gold gems, and aiming for high grades, A or S, based on completion time. The article notes that achieving S grades is incredibly challenging, even for pros. The page features screenshots showcasing Marina, various enemies, boss characters like Calibans, and glimpses of the shaking and grading systems. This page serves as your essential guide through the opening stages of Mischief Makers on Planet Clancer. After the initial introductions, you're immediately thrust into action across 10 unique levels, each teaching a new skill or challenging your mastery of Marina's abilities. You'll learn to effectively shake objects, and even friends like Geold and Kalanina, for varying effects, from uncovering gems to boosting your jumps. The guide details navigating tricky platforming challenges in stages like Clan Ball Land and Spike Land, where pulling specific objects alters the environment, or guiding allies like Terran in Blockman Rises. Missions range from reuniting lost Clancer children, requiring clever manipulation of their movement, to battling foes with unique weaknesses like the Desert Worm or Cowboy Clancers. You'll even get tips on using and improving weapons like the machine gun, and surviving hazards like the falling boulders and volcano. The recommended times for achieving A and S ranks for each stage are listed, setting the challenge for perfectionists right from the start. The next page delves into World 2, Maijin's Shrine, in Mischief Makers, where Marina must infiltrate a lava-filled cave to rescue Professor Theo from Maijin SR. And Junior, this section acts as a strategy guide, breaking down the world into individual stages from 21 to 211. You'll navigate hazardous environments like the Sea of Lava and tackle tricky platforming in stages like Sink or Float and Hot Rush, which feature disintegrating platforms and explosive islands. The guide covers unique challenges such as the topsy-turvy climb in Vertigo, swinging across lava in Siren Swing, and the unconventional tightrope ride where you pull yourself along. There are tips for surviving the freefall, stage and battling enemies on rafts in magma rafts, and unstable platforms in seasick climb. Finally, the page culminates with strategies for the boss encounters against the giant bee and the father-son duo in the Maibajin Brawl. Woo! Detailing how to exploit their weaknesses and survive the intense battles, illustrated with multiple screenshots. This page continues the strategy guide for mischief makers. Moving on to World 3, MT Snow. Marina's mission to rescue Professor Theo takes her to icy heights. The guide breaks down stages 31 through 37. You'll learn how to create items by shaking the clan pot in Clan Pot Shake, navigate explosions and rolling spikes in Clans War, and even surf on a missile in Missile Surf. The guide details riding the Clan Ball Lift, while dodging obstacles and stacking statues to progress in Clan Ball Lift. Strategies are provided for the boss battles against the clawed robot Mars N64 and the new foe Chili Dog, focusing on how to defeat them using grabs and throws. Finally, the Snowstorm Maze presents a puzzle involving item use to reach the goal. The page uses screenshots to illustrate the challenges and solutions for each level. The next page continues the Mischief Maker's strategy guide, detailing later levels in World 3 as Marina presses on to rescue Professor Theo. You'll find guidance for the challenging lunar boss fight in Level 38, learning to deflect his energy blasts to turn them into gold gems. Level 39, the day before, features mini-games where Marina competes in track and field events, including racing, jumping, and even a math showdown, to earn red gems and a gold gem. Level 311, Catastrophe, involves a unique dodgeball match against Cat Clancer. The fearsome Cerberus Q is detailed in Level 312, where you'll ride Cat Clancer and use missile attacks. A significant section focuses on finding the hidden gold gems throughout the game, providing hints for every level from 11 up to 312. Collecting all 52 gems is essential to unlock the full ending. Finally, a tease of more mischief hints at the later levels, revealing they are just the tip of the iceberg with more stages. Bosses like Terrace, Mirko, the Monolith, and the Beastector, and the ultimate goal of rescuing Marina herself. Screenshots throughout the page showcase the varied challenges and boss encounters. The next page highlights Julius Harper Jr., the winner of Nintendo Power's Game of the Future contest. His winning entry was the Nintendo Virtual Dream Machine, a conceptual game from the year 2064 played via a headset that transmits bioelectric impulses. JJ's grand prize included a trip to Nintendo headquarters where he worked with designers to finalize the cover art for his winning concept, which is featured prominently. He also got to play upcoming games, and his school received a multimedia computer. Photos show JJ busy at Nintendo, celebrating with his excited classmates, and showcasing his winning magazine cover design. It's a cool look at a young designer's vision for gaming's future. This page continues the feature on Nintendo Power's Game of the Future contest, presenting the creative visions of the second prize winners. These winning entries, displayed as potential future magazine covers, span two age groups and showcase innovative concepts like advanced virtual reality systems, brain interface technology, and futuristic takes on beloved series such as The Sims and Mario Paint. The page also provides further insight into the grand prize winner, J.J. Harper Jr.'s experience at Nintendo headquarters. It details his time working with the design team to bring his concept art to life, touring the company, and even getting hands-on time with upcoming games like the highly anticipated GoldenEye, and testing his skills in Star Fox 64 against members of the Nintendo Power staff. This page provides a wealth of classified information, primarily focusing on cheats and tips for several Nintendo 64 and Game Boy titles. The main feature details Her Majesty's secret cheats for GoldenEye 007, listing how to unlock various abilities like Paintball, Invincibility, DK Mode, and Infinite Ammo by completing missions within specific time limits on certain difficulty levels. Notes highlight interesting effects like enemies having big heads in DK Mode, or moving at high speed and fast animation. The page also touches upon Star Fox 64, explaining how players' actions can influence the game's cinema scenes. For International Superstar Soccer 64, codes are provided to unlock big heads and all-stars. Game Boy enthusiasts get tips for Disney's Aladdin with a stage skip code, and Operation S-Ski with a code for extra lives. This page dives into more classified secrets, this time focusing on Doom's 64 passwords for many missions, from the staging area all the way to the Absolution, letting players pick up where they left off. It also offers tips for Game Boy titles, detailing how to get up to 99 extra lives in the original Donkey Kong Country, and a stage skip for Disney's The Lion King, noting the similarity to Aladdin. For Mario Kart 64, several super shortcuts are revealed, with accompanying screenshots for tracks like Mario Raceway and Wario Stadium. Finally, Hexen players get more power cheats, including codes for enabling the cheat menu and instantly acquiring all artifacts, weapons, and puzzle items, also illustrated with screenshots. This page kicks off an in-depth look at Mace, the Dark Age for the Nintendo 64, straight from the arcades. It's a weapons-based tournament fighter, drawing themes from various historical and fantasy settings. The page introduces core mechanics, like combos and evasions, explaining how to string attacks together and utilize defensive movements. A key highlight is the Hostile Environs section, emphasizing how the detailed 3D arenas are interactive, allowing players to use the environment to their advantage by throwing opponents or objects. The article also touches on the game's backstory involving the powerful mace of Thanasis and the sorcerer Asmodeus. This is the start of a 6-page review, featuring multiple screenshots showcasing the varied characters and interactive stages. This page introduces you to 5 of the challengers in Mace, the Dark Age, emphasizing the importance of mastering their unique special moves. The game's control configuration menu is key here. You'll meet the Executioner, a fearsome fighter with a projectile attack called the Corpse Kiss, and devastating axe swings. Lord Deimos is highlighted for his immense power, including a potent soul kick. Ragnar, the Viking Prince, features aggressive juggling techniques like the rolling uppercut and head rush. The ninja Koyasha is showcased for her acrobatic spin kick and complex combo potential. Lastly, Teria, the sorceress, uses magic like the fireball and evasive moves like her flip kick. This section gives a taste of the diverse fighting styles you'll encounter and potentially master. This page continues the showcase of the challengers in Mace, the Dark Age. You'll learn about Alracid, the king of assassins, and his powerful blade tornado and sand devil attacks. Takeshi, the samurai, is featured with his steel waterfall and unique Zen dodge moves. Xiao Long, raised by monks, utilizes his senses with the mystic orb and devastating 1,000 staffs attack. Namira, a warrior searching for her past, relies on moves like the dervish twirl and spin combos. The page also teases darker secrets, mentioning hidden executions, counterattacks, and extra characters like Pojo the Chicken, Grendel, and Asmodeus, hinting at more content to be revealed. This page dives into the highly anticipated Madden 64 for the Nintendo 64. The article positions the game as a major leap forward, switching from sprite-based players to detailed polygons, promising vastly improved gameplay and control. It highlights the tighter camera views, including a potential dynamic helmet cam perspective. Broadcast legends Pat Summerall and John Madden are confirmed to provide commentary, adding to the realism. The game will feature real NFL players, a massive playbook, adjustable weather, multiplayer options, and a flexible instant replay system. Despite lacking an official NFL team license, the game aims for authenticity through its detailed simulation and player roster. This entry looks set to redefine the Madden experience on the new hardware. This page delves deeper into Madden 64's features. The Team Spirit section covers managing your team through a full season, including front office options for roster management and trades, while also commenting on the AI's performance and unpredictability. Draft Picks highlights the game's detailed player rating system, the manual instant replay for analysis, and introduces the extensive fantasy draft mode, emphasizing the game's realistic approach. The End Zone provides an overall review, praising Madden 64's solid simulation, intense gameplay, and player performance realism. Finally, The Making of a Star details the robust player creation tools, allowing customization of skills, stats, and even salary, illustrating the depth of the front office features. The magazine is clearly impressed with the game's depth and realistic simulation on the new hardware. This page showcases Last Legion UX, a 3D mech combat game. It moves the genre beyond traditional arena fighting with free-range motion in dynamic environments, drawing comparisons to the battle mode style of GoldenEye 007 for its blend of fighting, weapon use, hiding, and seeking. The game supports 8 controller configurations, including options for 2 players, who can face off in modes like Live and Let Die. The article details the game's varied locations, from terraced mountainsides and rivers to floating castles and deep temples, each offering unique tactical opportunities like ambushes and vertical movement. The UX Files section delves into the game's intriguing lore, involving time-traveling rogue robots seeking a powerful artifact and a heroic robot trying to stop them. Screenshots display various mech battles and environments, highlighting the game's visual style and diverse settings. This page expands on Last Legion UX, detailing the 3 robot classes, humanoids, amphibians, and floaters, and their unique combat traits. It highlights the Power Stones as the core mechanic, explaining how they fuel special attacks or can be stolen for an instant win, adding a strategic layer. The article discusses customizing robots with different weapons and shields, each having strengths and weaknesses. Game modes include a story campaign and versatile 2-player split-screen combat across diverse environments. The UX Files section deepens the game's lore, focusing on the Power Stone's origins and the hero Babayon's quest, promising a compelling mystery that unfolds in story mode. This page features 2 distinct games. On the left, Tetrasphere challenges players with a multi-layered puzzle sphere, where the goal is to peel away layers to reach the core by matching blocks and creating combos. The review highlights the game's difficulty and the importance of its training mode to master mechanics like X-Count and power pieces. Screenshots show the unique spherical gameplay and a score screen. On the right, Aerofighter's Assault is presented as N64 flight simulation and arcade adventure blend. It promises realistic flying within a virtual environment, compatible with the Rumble Pack. The article emphasizes the game's easy-to-learn controls and details a comprehensive flight school training mode covering solo flight, combat practice, and targeting tough enemies. Screenshots showcase aerial combat and training exercises. This page continues the focus on Aerofighter's Assault, detailing several key gameplay mechanics and modes. It highlights the unique perspective feature that allows quick targeting of threats, vital for situational awareness. The Player Duels section showcases the various multiplayer stages, sky, ocean, and desert, each offering distinct environments for dogfights. Attack Drills covers the game's bosses, pointing out their specific weak spots, like the Leviathan's bow or the Spriggan's plasma cannons. Crucial knowledge for taking down these formidable foes. The guide also provides essential multiplayer strategies for intense air-to-air combat, including tactics like lock-on, roll-away maneuvers, and using chaff. Finally, it breaks down some aircraft-specific special moves, such as the FSX/Shu-35's Cobra and Culbit, giving players an edge in duels. This page delves deeper into Aerofighter's Assault, presenting the global threat of Project Blue, and highlighting specific mission areas. The Tokyo stage is detailed, featuring the massive Super X Walker boss, which requires precision attacks on its weak lower front, while navigating tight urban environments. Players are introduced to Pilot's Hawk, an aggressive F-14B pilot skilled in air-to-air combat, and Glenda, a ground attack specialist flying the powerful A-10A Thunderbolt. The Pacific Ocean stage focuses on an intense air-to-surface battle against the formidable submersible Leviathan, where speed and low-altitude maneuvers are key to surviving its heavy anti-aircraft defenses and engaging its protective squadron, which includes a dangerous Gold Rafale fighter. Tactics for defeating both the Super X Walker and the Leviathan are outlined, preparing players for these critical engagements. This page continues the deep dive into Aerofighter's Assault, detailing more global missions and characters. The Air Battle section highlights intercepting stealth bombers over the Atlantic, headed for the U.S. East Coast, emphasizing the need to watch for enemy fighters. In Monument Valley, the objective is to destroy the massive Bazille tank. The Antarctic Ocean mission involves attacking a protected secret installation, a crucial step in turning the tide against Futamorgana. The section The War Isn't Over reveals the discovery of UFOs over Antarctica, stating there are 4 more missions to uncover Futamorgana's secrets. We meet Hein, a highly decorated Japanese pilot and reliable formation flyer, and Volk, an aggressive air-to-air specialist known for breaking formation. The FSX, a stealthy and maneuverable aircraft, and the Su-35 Superflanker, a powerful air-to-air fighter, are also showcased, alongside missions to attack a fortified fortress on the Peruvian coast and navigate a deadly field of floating mines around South America. This page explores F1 Pole Position 64, Ubisoft's push for a realistic Formula One simulation on the N64. The game aims to capture the intensity of Fly One racing, with detailed car handling, team interaction via the pit crew, and dynamic weather that can change during a race. It features 3 main modes: the extensive World Championship season, battle mode for quick custom races, and time trial to perfect laps and car setups. A notable inclusion is the damage system, visibly tracked by gauges, impacting your car's performance. While the game lacks multiplayer, it features capable AI opponents and offers deep customization options for car settings and other game parameters. The game includes various international Grand Prix tracks, highlighting the global freeing one-circuit experience. This page provides in-depth strategies for F1 Pole Position 64, starting with advice on selecting the right car and modifying its settings for optimal performance. It details the recommended settings for the Mercedes-Benz V10, covering steering, tires, transmission, brakes, suspension, wings, and fuel load, explaining how these adjustments impact handling and speed. The behind-the-wheel section offers driving techniques like using slipstreams for boosts and cornering strategies, emphasizing the importance of braking before the turn and hitting the apex. It also covers the dynamic weather system, explaining how rain affects the track and requires strategic pit stops. Finally, the page showcases track layouts and impressive lap times achieved on various Grand Prix circuits. This page focuses on specific tracks in F1 Pole Position 64, offering strategies for mastering them. It provides a detailed breakdown of the challenging Monaco Grand Prix, known for its narrow, winding streets and sharp corners, recommending car setup adjustments and specific techniques for its key sections, like navigating the tight turns and maximizing speed on the short straights. The Canadian Grand Prix is also covered, described as a high-speed track where precision is vital, with tips on handling its few sharp corners and practicing line techniques on the straights. A section on The View explains the game's camera options, noting the benefits of different perspectives, particularly the high behind view for starting. The page concludes with track layouts and impressive lap times for additional Grand Prix circuits. This page takes a trip back to the arcade, highlighting the Super NES releases of 2 classic games, Space Invaders and Arkanoid. The Space Invaders section, titled The Same Sensation, describes the core gameplay of shooting descending aliens, explaining the point values for different types and the random points awarded for hitting UFOs. It also details the one-shot war mechanic, where you can only fire 1 shot at a time. The Alien Antics part praises the SNES version for including the original arcade game, along with updated graphics, a 2-player mode, and competitive play. The Arkanoid segment, A Better Bash, explains the game's objective of destroying brick formations with a paddle and ball, emphasizing its unique features. A key focus is on the various power-up capsules you can catch, detailing their effects like extending the paddle, E, adding dual lasers, L, enabling multi-brick destruction, M, creating a force field, T, releasing multiple balls, D, gluing the ball, G, adding extra lives, P, and resetting modifications. The Breakout section mentions the SNES update, retains the original gameplay, while adding a cool 2-player mode, and an edit option for creating custom levels. The page also touches upon how Space Invaders helped make video games mainstream. This page provides further insights into the Super NES versions of Space Invaders and Arkanoids, offering strategic tips and highlighting specific features. For Space Invaders, it advises on defensive play using shields and offensive targeting of outer alien rows. It also notes the game's historical impact on the industry. Arkanoid mechanics are explained, focusing on ball physics and how different bounces are determined. The page details various Ark enemies, including minor foes and tougher bosses with weak spots. Cool features like Space Invaders' Classic Colors option, which lets you choose from different arcade screen styles, and Arkanoids arrange a stage-level editor for creating custom levels, are showcased. Both games' multiplayer modes are elaborated upon, with Space Invaders offering a competitive versus mode, and Arkanoid featuring competitive race modes and a cooperative option. This page highlights Disney's Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle games for the Super NES, featuring 4 lighthearted skill games: Jungle Pinball, Hip-a-Hop, Burper, and Sling Shooter. The game presents these options in a central jungle clearing called Jungle Jam, where you point at signs to select a game. Described as having great graphics and sound, the games are designed for a younger audience, being easy to understand but potentially harder to master. The page delves into the Burper game, where Pumbaa takes center stage, focusing on burping and swatting objects falling from the canopy. Options include difficulty, 1 or 2 player alternating modes, and sound controls, though scores are not saved. This page dives into the other fun mini-games found in Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Games. First up is Jungle Pinball, a lively pinball table where you aim to hit various targets like lizards, light up grub, and knock down hyenas to spell Hakuna Matata for big points. The elephant wheel offers special options, and you'll find extra balls and save features to keep the action going. Then there's Hippo Hop, which plays like the classic Frogger. You guide Timon across a river by hopping on drifting hippos, logs, and stones, collecting bugs and avoiding those pesky alligators. Look out for special items appearing near the flower on the far bank. Finally, Sling Shooter is a simple shooting gallery. Your goal is to shoot the bad animals while leaving the good ones alone. Hitting bad guys scores points, but hitting a good one costs you. You can also activate special events by shooting specific targets, like the fish in the waterfall, or a bird's egg for hidden surprises. This page introduces Bandai's Tamagotchi game coming to the Game Boy, featuring new creatures and features. The article highlights the game brings the popular virtual pet phenomenon to the handheld, including 12 new characters, a save feature, the ability to care for up to 3 pets simultaneously, and control over the game clock speed. It details the Excellent Choice screen, where you select your pet's egg and name it before it hatches in its new home. The main Home Sweet Home screen is where you spend most time caring for your pet, monitoring its growth, and accessing functions like the music screen and memory screen for stats. The control panel offers comprehensive care options, from consulting a professor for advice, to speeding up time with the clock button, or managing multiple pets. Key aspects of gameplay are covered, such as the praise/scold option for shaping character, the health screen to check vital stats like life, fun, and deed meters, the flush button for cleaning up after your pet, and the light switch to turn lights off for sleep, which affects mood and character. The game appears to capture the core Tamagotchi experience with added Game Boy-specific features. This page delves into the details of caring for your Tamagotchi pet on the Game Boy, expanding on the basics previously introduced. It explains the various activities available, such as playing games like Smile, Study, and Sports, to improve your pet's stats like Fun, IQ, and Build. You'll also learn about feeding your pet properly with meals and snacks, noting that different foods affect different stats, and too many sweets can cause problems. The medicine section covers how to treat illnesses like the flu, stomachaches, and diaper rash using shots or pills, indicated by a skull icon. Finally, the page introduces some of the many Tamagotchi forms your pet can evolve into, showing their appearance, favorite foods or snacks, and describing their personalities and typical care needs as they grow, from the baby stage like Baby Kachi and Shiro Baby Kachi, through to adult forms like Mamechi and Mimichi. This page details several adult Tamagotchi characters found in the game, including Ginjilrachi, Pochichi, Terakachi, and Takochi, showing their sprites, favorite foods like bread, meat, and carrots, and giving brief descriptions of their personalities and habits. Further characters such as Maskuchi, Zukichi, Kuchitamachi, Hashizochi, Nyorochi, and Kusachi are also presented in the same format, outlining their unique traits and preferences. The page also covers the tournament feature, where your Tamagotchi can compete in races, beauty contests, or knowledge tests between noon and 4 p.m. to improve stats and potentially reach the Hall of Fame. Finally, the Crave the Egg section reflects on the initial Tamagotchi craze and highlights how the Game Boy version's save feature addresses the issues faced by owners of the original toy who had pets expire due to neglect during inconvenient times. This page features the Counselor's Corner, offering helpful tips for popular Nintendo 64 titles. For Blast Corps, it details how to locate the scientist hidden within a warehouse in Tempest City, and outlines the multi-step process involving various vehicles to uncover the G-Bomb in Argent Towers. Moving to Star Fox 64, players learn how to unlock the Blue Marine by achieving 100 hits in Sector SAE and reaching Aquas. Strategies are also provided for destroying the Copperhead missiles, threatening the Great Fox in Sector Z, and defeating the formidable Gorgon boss in Area 6 by evading its attacks and targeting its core. The section is accompanied by several screenshots illustrating the key moments and locations discussed. This page continues the Counselor's Corner, offering assistance for more popular games. For GoldenEye, you'll find tips on utilizing the tank in the runway stage, how to open locked doors in the facility by interacting with computers or locating keycards, and strategies to overcome Alec's trap in the water caverns by eliminating drone guns. There's also a step-by-step solution for the challenging weight puzzle in World 3, Stage 7 of Mole Mania. The page includes Q&A sections, providing answers for Pilot Wings 64 regarding game endings and time changes, FIFA Soccer 64 covering goalkeeper control and team selection, and Wave Race 64 addressing setting course times and the announcer's voice. Screenshots accompany the tips for GoldenEye and show the puzzle layout for Mole Mania. This page features a Bowl a Strike contest, encouraging readers to enter to win a trip to Brunswick's World Tournament of Champions. The grand prize includes VIP seats at the tournament, a private lesson with a professional bowler, official Brunswick bowling gear like a custom bowling ball and bag, and the Brunswick's World Tournament of Champions game for Super NES. Second prize winners receive Brunswick bowling balls and bags along with the game, while third prize winners get NP t-shirts. Entry involves filling out the player's poll response card or mailing in details and answering a trivia question. The page highlights the opportunity to rack the pins in Power T and emphasizes that your vote counts in the NP player's poll. Official rules are present but are quite lengthy. This page previews Donkey Kong Land 3 for the Game Boy, described as loosely based on Donkey Kong Country 3. The article highlights that Dixie and Kiddy Kong return for a new adventure, featuring familiar faces but entirely new stages. It previews key areas like Cape Codswallops, presented as an excellent training ground, where players must master moves while avoiding dangers like recoil and facing the boss Barobos. The Wrinkly Refuge and Sheepy Shop are also featured, showing where players can save their game with Wrinkly Kong and play card games with the Brothers Bear. Finally, the Primate Plains are teased, promising diverse landscapes including icy blizzards and treetop levels, with mentions of animal buddies like Squawks and adversaries such as the Minky. The preview gives a taste of the many challenges ahead for the Kongs. This page dives deeper into the worlds of Donkey Kong Land 3. You'll venture through the gloomy Black Forest Plateau, encountering enemies like the massive spider boss Airich. Next is the sunnier Great Ape Lakes, where Ellie the elephant can assist you, but beware the mechanical boss Kakos with his lightning attacks. The final main area is Tin Can Valley, a diverse environment requiring skillful switching between Dixie and Kiddy Kong, culminating in a showdown with K. Rool himself. Beyond these, a secret lost world is teased, unlockable, with bear coins and bonus coins, which are found by completing challenges in bonus stages like collecting stars or defeating Kremlings. You'll also collect bananas and balloons for extra lives and utilize barrels for various purposes throughout your journey. This page highlights the Game Boy release of Mortal Kombat Is and 2, combining both classic fighting games onto a single cartridge for portable play. The feature details specific fighters like Sub-Zero, known for his freezing attacks and fatalities, Reptile, who makes the jump to the main roster in MK2 with his acid spit and devastating fatality, and Liu Kang, showcasing his bicycle kick and 2 different fatalities across the games. It also points out the famous Toasty Easter egg and its connection to fighting the hidden character Smoke. The page displays the character lineups for both Mortal Kombat Ins, featuring fighters such as Kano, Raiden, and Scorpion, and Mortal Kombat 2 with an expanded roster including Shang Tsung, Kitana, and Jax. Your quest leads to challenging the bosses Goro and Shao Kahn. This page dives into the specifics of character moves and fatalities for the Game Boy release of Mortal Kombat In and 2. It breaks down essential techniques for fighters like Scorpion, showcasing his classic spear and teleport, and details Shang Tsung's flaming skull attacks and soul-draining fatality. You'll find out how to execute Mileena's teleport kick and her simple fatality, along with Jax's sonic wave and his devastating head-crushing fatality. The guide also covers Kano's knife throw and somersault moves, Raiden's lightning throw and teleport, and Sonya's ring toss, scissor grab, and square wave flight, plus her fatality. Finally, it offers advice on surviving the powerful boss Shao Kahn by keeping your distance and using projectile attacks. This page presents the NP's Arena Challenges and High Scores for October 1997. Challenge number 1 focuses on Tetrasphere, asking players for their highest score in single-player, time trial mode, without dropping pieces. Challenge number 2 is for Mario Kart 64, seeking the fastest lap time on Koopa Troopa Beach. Challenge number 3 features GoldenEye, challenging players to beat the target time on the facility stage on 00 Agent difficulty. The page also includes a Nintendo 64 character match quiz. High score lists are featured for Wave Race 64, Ken Griffey Jr.'s Winning Run, Super Mario 64, Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, both Battle of Hoth and Asteroid Field levels, and Tetris Attack, showcasing top players and their results. This page features reviews for new Nintendo 64 games. Mischief Makers is highlighted as a unique action game with 2.5 dimensions, noted for its growing appeal, varied content, and challenging yet precise controls. The reviewer comments on the addictive music and mixed reactions to control and theme, giving it a 6.9 overall. Next is Extreme Egg, a high-speed futuristic racer praised for its blistering pace, impressive graphics, and realistic engine sounds, though wall visibility can be an issue. Reviewers call it an intense experience with a great sense of speed, earning an 8.1 overall. Finally, Aero Fighter's Assault, a dogfighting sim/arcade shooter, is reviewed. It features varied battlefields and challenges with the analog stick controls. Flight sim fans may appreciate the realism, while action fans might find it less thrilling. The sound is basic, but it's considered a strong attempt at a realistic flight title, scoring a 6.9 overall. This page features reviews for several games. First up is Mace, The Dark Age on Nintendo 64, a 3D fighter with medieval characters and weapons. Reviewers note the dazzling graphics and moves but have mixed opinions on the character designs and how long the game holds interest. It's described as having fast control but complex combos, earning a 6.9 overall. Next, Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Games brings a collection of mini-games to the Super NES, aimed at young players. While the graphics and sound are well done, some games are more successful than others, with the pinball game highlighted for its replay value. The simple arcade style leads to a 5.8 overall score. F1 Pole Position 64 provides a highly realistic racing simulation on the N64. Players concentrate intensely on the track, noticing details like rain effects. The steering is precise, perhaps too much so for some, and the detailed Fry-1 engines are noted, though the pit crew radio advice is found annoying. It scores a 7.1 overall despite lacking a multiplayer option. Finally, the Super NES port of Space Invaders. The original game is reviewed. It faithfully recreates the arcade look, but is noted for its simple, repetitive gameplay. Reviewers agree it is the classic game, debate its score based on this simplicity, resulting in a low 3.9 overall rating. This page features reviews for 3 diverse titles. First up is Arkanoid, Do It Again on the Super NES, offering updated graphics and multiple 2-player modes for the classic paddle action. Reviewers found it a solid, fun entry with intuitive controls, though the sound was only average, resulting in a 6.4 overall. Next, Tamagotchi arrives on the Game Boy, bringing the virtual pet experience to the handheld. Despite simple graphics, the game adds features like mini-games and different egg types compared to the keychain version. Controls are basic, and the sound can be annoying, leading to a 5.5 overall score for this unique title. Finally, Donkey Kong Land 3 for the Game Boy sends Dixie and Kiddy Kong on a new adventure. This platformer boasts smooth character animation, precise controls, and all new stages crafted by Rare. It captures the feel of the SNES games well, and earned a strong 7.1 overall. The page also includes information on the magazine's evaluators, how game ratings are weighted, and details on the ESRB age rating system. This page features a PulkWatch preview of the highly anticipated Diddy Kong Racing from Rare. It's emphatically not just a Mario Kart clone, introducing planes and hovercraft alongside carts, plus bosses, exploration areas, and hidden items. The structure involves collecting gold balloons to unlock new areas and challenges, blending racing with adventure elements reminiscent of Super Mario 64's open world. Rare is utilizing advanced graphics technology called real-time dynamic animation and skinning for smoother character models. The Source Extra box confirms Rare, as both publisher and developer, lists the game size at 128 megabits, compatibility with Rumble and controller packs, and over 20 tracks. The reviewer was instantly hooked, praising the smooth, intuitive controls and noting how the game combines the best elements of Super Mario 64, Pilotwings 64, Wave Race 64, and Mario Kart 64, taking them to a new level. With varied multiplayer modes, Diddy Kong Racing is hailed as potentially the best game Rare has ever made, and the best title for the N64. The page is filled with screenshots showing the diverse vehicles and vibrant tracks. This page features a look at several games. Kirby 3 on the Super NES is highlighted for its cooperative play with GUI and the large number of moves and animal friends available, praising its colorful graphics. Chameleon Twist on the Nintendo 64 is previewed, focusing on the unique tongue mechanics for combat and platforming in 3D environments, noting the controls were solid even in an early build. The In the Pipeline section previews upcoming games like Zelda 64, detailing Link's quest and helpers, 064, discussing the number of vehicles and tracks, and Yoshi's Story, mentioning its picturebook style and multiple Yoshis. This page dives into upcoming Nintendo releases and industry news. The prominent release forecast section provides a listing of anticipated games for N64, Super NES, and Game Boy, indicating predicted release windows from late 1997 through early 1998. Several high-profile games, including Banjo-Kazooie, Yoshi's Story, and MLB featuring Ken Griffey Jr., are highlighted as being delayed until 1998 to ensure quality, a decision confirmed by Nintendo of America's chairman. Exciting announcements include the confirmed North American release of Super Bomberman 64, which features a dedicated single-player adventure. Gex 2. Enter the Gecko is also previewed, set to arrive on the N64, with its trademark TV and movie parodies in a 3D action-adventure format, with an image of Gex included. Game Boy enthusiasts can look forward to titles like James Bond 007, which is compared to Zelda and GoldenEye, Wario Land 2, Turok, Boost-A-Move 2, and Game & Watch Gallery 2, with screenshots offering glimpses of gameplay. N64 Sports News mentions development on Diddy Kong Racing, a golf game from HAL, and a snowboarding title, Kemco's Twisted Edge Snowboarding, shown in a screenshot. Insider updates reveal a 3D Tamagotchi game for N64, the first of multiple Pocket Monsters games with a screenshot, and Capcom working on 3 64 titles, including a fighter and a puzzle game akin to Resident Evil. Lastly, a redesigned, smaller Super NES console lacking RF or A/versus output is discussed. This page previews the upcoming Nintendo Power issue, featuring a head-to-head comparison between NFL Quarterback Club 98 and Madden 64 for the N64, delving into their gameplay and analysis. It also highlights other anticipated titles like Donkey Kong Land 3 for Game Boy, the high-octane San Francisco Rush Racer on 64, and the charming Kirby's Dream Land 2i for Super NES. A brief look at Top Gear Rally is also included. The magazine promotes exclusive NP100 gear, celebrating 100 issues, offering items like a gold Game Boy Pocket, t-shirt, commemorative watch, and coin set. A comprehensive list catalogs a vast number of past features and available games across Nintendo platforms.